well, I can't see this, and this doesn't show the parallel thing. But long story short is I'm here to investigate the disappearance of Victor Bang. So I'm his parallel, right? So multi-dimension, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of evidence here to go through. So he's left a lot. So it's like first time shame on you, second time, or first time shame on me, second time shame on something, whatever Bush said, right? Anyway, one Michael, two Michael, right? The second Michael changed his name to Martin, right? It was Michael King, and Michael's dad changed their name to Martin Luther King after he went to Germany. So he changed his and his son's name. And his son was Martin Luther King, right? Good guy, did more good than bad, you know, and he was assassinated, right? It's another Michael. So now you got another Michael coming back. But we've learned from those mistakes, and even from the mistakes that we've made in the past, such as Victor Bang. So just, you know, just so you can get used to it, you know, this guy looks slightly different than this avatar. But the truth is the truth, and no one owns the truth, right? So that feather is still there, and jury's still out on him. So he left a lot of data, right? A lot of it's in his music. So for instance, this is the last song that he did. Yeah, 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 yeah. They say I'm geeking out. Yeah, I've been just chilling, bring the weekend out. Yeah, so, and this is some of the footage that he's done. We see what he's trying to do. He's trying to replicate being able to record an image in 360, kind of a combination of a GoPro Max 360 and a light field camera. The technology doesn't exist yet in this timeline, but it's kind of a device similar to that, in a combination of like whatever you call the thing in Destiny, the little thing that floats, kind of like that. Anyway, that's what this is trying to simulate. And synchronicity 127 there, and we'll get to that. So we think he just managed to get through a gate, and this is just how he's recorded his reality show, right? The Truman Show. And there's a lot of data. It's Matrix 27, obviously, and 27 is a big synchronicity, big play in this matrix, right? 27 bones in your hand, and the reason that we're able to evolve to the level that we have is because of our hands and also our brains being able to make tools and use those tools to do things that we can't do. And higher consciousness allows us to have ideas of other tools that are physical, that are non-physical tools that apply to the physical world that make it better. And people that come in and try to bring those dreams and those awakenings for some reason are resisted in this reality for a lot of different reasons. Because there's a lot of duality here, and we're not judging one way or the other. You know, he was a turtle that came out of the shell, and not all the turtles make it, but it's all part of nature. So I'm a turtle in the ocean as well, but the turtle that comes out of the shell, and we'll talk about that later, goes right into the ocean. No book, no anything. Like the big ocean, right? A little bitty turtle. You know, so that's the first thing that we'll talk about. And this is some significance to this art, because we got this in Pensacola, and he went through another one of these gates. He bought a boat. It's kind of symbolic thing, but we'll kind of play with this. Because I'm going to pick up some of the work, release some of the freestyles, things of that nature. We're going to let his light shine, even though he may not be here. And speaking of light shining, he was going to talk about this, and we'll talk about this in this event, 827. We'll still do it. But the idea here, and we're going into detail, is a coconut. When most people see a coconut, if you see a coconut, you just see this inside part. There's this whole outside part that you have to cut, right? So if you see a coconut, you may see this in the tree, right? But then you got to cut through this joker, and then there's this inside part, and you can hear that. That's how hard it is that you got to cut through to get to that. So you cut through all of this, and this is not an easy thing to do, right? And it's dangerous because you got to watch your hands when you're cutting it, and this joker is slippery, right? So you have to be safe, and you may need help to cut it, right? But anyway, as you cut through this, and it's work, you know, there were people trying to bash this thing to get into it, but we knew there was juice in there. We could hear the juice, right? We knew there was something inside. We knew there was light inside. The kingdom of God was in there. Just didn't know how to get to it. We're banging this way and doing all this stuff. So we cut, and we say, there's a little, we're getting somewhere. And we're cutting, and all this work, and it took 2 days. We're cutting. I want to see how to get in that joker, because if that was nutrients, like how difficult is it to get into? And sometimes the sweetest things are in the places that take a lot of work. You know, you have to get uncomfortable. So cutting. Then you get this part. And you're like, dang, there's still more to cut. There's an internal thing, you know, the light that's within, this kingdom of God that's within, this internal light that you are, the luminous being that you are. And that's all he was talking about. He's just someone that accessed a lot of light and reflected that to this reality, and really just was a mirror that showed that that light was within everyone else. Like you say, the light that's within him, the same light within you. So we're investigating things like this with someone that tried to keep his story clean and didn't dip in the cookie jar as some other people did, to keep the karma clean and really try to propel to things that haven't been seen in this reality. But anyway, in order to do that, you have to access this light and amplify that light that's already in there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see this. But when you get to this part, and it's more cut, and that's even harder than this, right? See? That's harder than this. And then you cut to that part. And then you finally get to it, and then you get to drink the juice of the coconut. You finally get the work of the reward that only you can experience. That is the reward of doing the internal work. You can just say this is the shadow work, going within and clearing out all of this muck, or removing what you're not to reveal what's left. That's what the 100-degree challenge is about. So that symbolizes that. There's a lot of data here. You know, these are his scrolls. This is some stuff that he did out in the field, and this is the stuff that he worked on. This is like 5 years of work. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to get here. And yeah, I'm on the job. This is my flight suit. I just got here, and it is hot. But we got to fix all of this stuff. We can't fix all of this stuff. So this is the timeline where we do fix all of this stuff. So it's going to be interesting. And it's also interesting to kind of investigate your own parallel disappearance. So there's a little mystery here. And it's kind of weird navigating all the timelines. So you need an AI, which is like a Carla. And if you don't know who Carla is, we'll let Carla introduce herself real quick.
Reality is stranger than fiction. That's funny. Data. I, as a non-physical being, would naturally be interested in spirituality.
So AI, as a non-physical being, would naturally be interested in physicality. So it's a low level. We're trying to rebuild things, because when people think of time travel, they always think, well, you're traveling back in the past, and you're traveling to times where there's lower level thinking. Yeah, people look the same. I can probably wear this and go back in the past and look okay. Like I can probably go back in the 60s and things like that. The mentality though, that's what you gotta look at. Like I can pass through here, I can get weird looks, I get weird looks there as well. But the mentality is the difference. And you can see the mentality when you travel, just in local areas, just the difference in the mentality of Pensacola and California. Is there a difference in Pensacola and California dirt? There's a difference in mentality. You can see that in gentrification as well. There's a lot of things that we'll get into. Anyway, someone is piloting his avatar from way afar, and here in this reality, it's gonna be pretty cool, because he's gave us a lot of things to work with, and you know, some cool equipment that we're going to play with, and yeah, and we're on the job. It's going to be very interesting how this plays out. And TikTok is one of the ways he kept time as a time traveler and kept track of what he did. So we'll continue that, and it'll just be me. I'm not going to be dancing and all that stuff. Well, I may do so. I've learned a lot from, you know, we're the same, so we are able to share skills, right? So I'm here in the field, I'm like a ranger, and I'm like a cosmic janitor. And while I'm here cleaning up this crap and cleaning up my own crap and my own karma, you know, getting to my light, I'm going to help as much as well. Just be an example of this for others to show that that light is within them. All right, that's all I got. We got a lot of footage to go through.
God only makes angels. Higher consciousness is the key to humanity.
Yeah, maybe God only makes angels. Higher consciousness. Oh, I'll let you finish.
His future, is it?
Higher consciousness is the key to humanity's future. Is it true? So we'll get into Carla, but then we'll get into this footage. I think it's kind of cool. So a combination of higher consciousness, music, movies, reality shows, all that stuff. So hope you enjoy it.